Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 31 of the Own the Map Challenge here on Monteith with me, Farmer Murphy. And no, your eyes do not deceive you. I've actually let my beard grow a little bit for the winter time, so that's something new. But that is the least of the new things going on around here. It is late October, and we have completed the harvest. All the crops are off the field, and the results you can see on the board behind me. So we got 1.78 million liters of corn in total off our fields, and soybeans, what's that add up to? 763,000 liters of soybeans, and they're all working their way currently through the dryer. Now, we are sitting at $247,000 in our bank account, but there have been lots of changes here on the farm. The new ownership scheme has all been finalized, legalized, and so my wife and I are no longer the sole proprietors on the farm. But there were a number of equipment changes that we did. Let me get face the right direction here. There we go. We ended up selling the 7810 and the 8RT, the two-tracked 8R. Those tractors were both 100-hour machines, and they've been on the farm from near the beginning. So we'd had them nearly 10 years. So it was time to upgrade them. And then we also sold the 7R that we bought used not that all long ago, a couple of years ago, I guess. We replaced those three tractors with these two brand new 6Rs, 300 horsepower machines that we bought. And the reason we did that is behind them. We wanted two baling setups. And the 7R worked for that, but the 6Rs are just better suited. They're a smaller frame tractor and got a better turning radius. And so you may recall when we bought the 7R, we were actually looking for 6Rs, just none came up used. But we ended up leasing these two brand new, and we leased an additional baler. We also sold the custom painted 9RX and bought another 9RX, or again, leased it to replace that because we do need two large tractors here on the farm. Now, there was a reason I did this. Basically, we had a number of different tractors on here, and I was starting to get a little bit of frame rate drops when I came in the yard area here with all the different equipment. So these two legitimately, I changed them for the reasons I stated, but I went with two tractors the same, so we had less different machines on there, and that's the only reason I changed this one, is so that we had two of the same tractors, not two different ones, just to make it easier on my computer when I was around the yard if everything was parked up here. And I think it did help a little bit. And but there's also a argument to be made on the farm is when you've got identical machines like this, of course you have to have less spare parts. There may be some similar parts between the 8R and the 6R, but there's absolutely no difference between two 6R identical machines. So that's what we did there. Now, the reason that we sold those equipment, which we owned outright, and then leased these, is we used the funds. If we go and look at the map here, up here, to purchase Sam and Sarah's area. So that was, what was this one here? 900,000 and almost 500,000. So $1.4 million we spent, and we didn't need to take any mortgage on that. But it does mean now, if we go and look at our hire purchase tab, we actually have $1.7 million worth of loans on our new vehicles. Now, we did put down a fair bit, a minimum of 20% on each of these, so that should keep us from going upside down on them, meaning that, if the farm gets in trouble, we should be able to sell them for more than what's owing on them. And it's just a different financing scheme. I like doing this because if we were to take out that $1.5 million mortgage, then we'd be committed to those monthly payments until such time that the mortgage completely paid off. But now when we get funds, we can pay these off one at a time and get out of that lease payment. So it's still financing, just a little different way, gives us more flexibility here on the farm. And not unrealistic to be having a bunch of leased equipment on the farm, by the way, from what I understand. So, what we are going to do here. Now, most of the baling has been done. When we're doing the harvesting, our harvesting crew is either 3 or 4 people, depending on where we're harvesting. Again, if we look at the map here quick, map. When we harvest here, field 2 across the road, and what I call a shop field, the one on the other side of the road, we don't need to use a truck for that. We just use the grain cart and the 2 harvesters, and the grain cart can just go and empty directly into the silo. So when that's going on, we have 2 people to do field prep, and then the rest of the time when we're harvesting fields that are a little farther afield and we're using the truck, then we're down to 1. We use that to get most of the baling done, but there is 1 field left. And so right away, Sarah's going to take one of our new machines here, and she's going to go and bale that, and we're going to do that in a cinematic. And then Harold is off someplace. He's doing some lime spreading, and Bill is off with the mulcher, and Sam's going to take this new machine and he is going to start plowing. So that's what's going to be going on here. So I'm going to get all that set up and on the go, and I will meet you back at the field, and we will do a cinematic of the baling. So we'll catch up with you and get all these pieces moving here. See you in a bit. Well, we're starting out up in the air here. Now that is Sam there in our newest 9RX starting the plowing. This is the first cornfield to be plowed. We've pretty much got the soybean fields turned around, but we're just nicely getting started on the cornfields. And speaking of which, I think we'll find Harold over here, is he? Yep, there he is. And so he is liming another cornfield. So he's got that on the go. And then I think Bill is over here. Where was he mulching at? Oh, yeah, he's doing the last of the soybean fields. He's around here someplace. Where is there he is. And so Bill in our older 9RX, and he's dragging our mulcher around and getting that taken care of. So that's what's going on here. Everybody now is hard at work turning the fields around, but it's not, no sense of urgency for it, because we do have next month to get that done. But in order to get this cornfield taken care of, we need to get the bales off of here, or the straw baled up, I should say, and off of here. So Sarah, I believe, is going to do this for us, and we'll follow her in a cinematic. So sit back and enjoy the tunes. Well, I hope you enjoyed that cinematic, but we have left Sarah to finish that up, and we have come over here to show you a couple more new items to the farm. And this is basically the start of Sam's influence in ownership, because I wasn't sure if it was worth the money to invest in this beastie here, which was like $500,000. And then, of course, it wasn't very efficient the way we were loading it. So we also invested in a big wheel loader. So that represents, almost 800,000, I think. So if you were looking at the vehicle debt and said, hey, 1.7 million, that really doesn't make sense. It does when you factor this in. But Sam really felt that it was the right thing to do to be spreading that manure. And you know what? It will have a payback. Fertilizer is expensive, and it will give us a payback over time. It's just going to take a while, but he's a young fella. He's got a little bit longer range vision probably than I do. So we did it because Sam really wanted to do it. So let's take this new wheel loader here and get it fired up, and let's load some manure. This now is a 5,000 liter bucket, so it does go quite a bit faster. Now, you may be wondering why we bothered buying additional baling equipment. And you know what? We're going to sell over $500,000 worth of straw this harvest. We're at 500,000 already, and we still got bales on the field to pick up. So basically, one season pays for the additional straw harvest or straw baling equipment. And it was the baling that was holding us up. So we either had to leave some straw on the field or invest in equipment. And it was a pretty easy decision, because the tractor and baler aren't even worth new $500,000. So that's why we did it, because that was kind of where the bottleneck was now on the farm, was getting all that straw baled up. So this will go much faster now. Oops, stay up there. We need to put my brakes on with that hill. I just have to keep a little pressure on the gas pedal because it wants to roll back down just due to gravity, which kind of makes sense. Or, I guess, hold the brake on. But yeah, this is going to speed this up. So we're not only going to put this on our grass field, but what we're going to do, and that's what we're setting up to do right now, is we're going to put a bit more than a dusting, but we're going to put some on any of the fields that had canola on it until we use a lot of this pile up. Now our canola fields, obviously they don't need any extra nitrogen, but the fields that had canola in it this year, we're going to have corn next year. So that's why we're going to throw this manure down on those fields. As you can see, this goes much faster. Now we have paid or put the money in the account for Harold and Bill. So that has been taken care of. I don't know if I mentioned, but boy, we have not had one rain delay this fall. That's the first time I think that I can recall that we haven't had some sort of rain delay. But every day has been just beautiful. So we're doing really well. Like we're going into November with a let's say significant amount of field prep already done, which is not the norm. We have a fair bit of work we need to do in November. Now the, what is it, 4030 that we're using to do this with, it's actually going to end up down at Sam's new place. He's going to use it as his yard tractor, because the only thing we're going to need to use it for on the farm that we will still do that with is tedding. We'll still use it as our tedding tractor, but it can stay down at Sam's place and he can make use of it down there. The deal just closed actually this month on that property, and so decisions have not been finalized as to what's going to go where, shall we say. But I think the first thing Sam said he'd like to do is he's going to put up a shed of some sort down there. That's a little bit easier decision once you get the location nailed down than you know, the decisions that are required to build a house. So house will start, I would think this winter that construction will start. Now I don't know if you noticed or not, but Sarah was actually wearing a Case t-shirt. Now I have mentioned more than once that she came from a farming family and they did have a Case farm, so we're going to have to kind of change her opinion on that, but we let her get away with wearing her Case t-shirt. Well, I think it's one more bucket load and it's full, but I'll get that done off camera, and then we'll head to the field and we'll show a little bit of this getting spread out. So I'll catch up with you in just a minute. Oh, there we go. We're putting some fertilizer down. It really doesn't matter how heavy it goes on. Like I said, it's just using it up. And even if we can't get the whole field done, at least in some areas the field will need to use less fertilizer. By the rate that's going down, we might be putting it on a little bit heavy, but we're only taking it about halfway to where the corn is going to need. But hey, it all saves us money and is better for the environment, and that's one thing Sam was concerned about. So all good. Yeah, we're about half empty. Might need to slow this rate down in the future. I will leave it where it is for now. I'm getting this kind of blocky spread thing going on here that I've noticed has just started. It's a pretty recent thing, so actually to avoid looking at it, maybe we'll go in calf for a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. I'll have to I don't have time to work on it to correct it for this episode, but I will have to see if I can do that, because we weren't getting that before. But I first noticed it when we were doing lime on this map, and yeah, I haven't really noticed it on other maps. Maybe it's a map issue, I don't know. But hey, we'll do it this way. Actually could have put on steering assist and I wouldn't have had to guess where the edge is, but all good. It's running down here at a pretty good rate. Oh, and we just ran out. So, but that's what I'm going to do here for the next few minutes, is I'm going to spread out that manure. Now I do need to leave enough for the grass field and also for Sam's oat field, because I think the seeder that we're looking at getting to seed that field for him in the spring, I don't think it puts fertilizer down, so we can 100% fertilize that with this unit as well. But I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to carry on and take care of this manure, and then we have another chore we need to do before the end of the month. So I will meet you at our grass field in just a little bit. Well, work continues here on the farm. It's just after lunch the same day. I did manage to get manure spread on the entire field of 10. And when Bill is done mulching all the fields that need to have that done, I'll probably have him go over that with those harrows and kind of harrow that in any of the fields where we put manure down. But that's a job that can be done next month. But what we want to get done this month is, as you can probably guess, it's time to cut this grass. And this cutting is all going to be silage. We don't need to make any hay. We've got enough hay for the winter. And of course, we'll just keep enough silage bales to get us through the winter, and the rest we will sell off. Now, Sam and I have talked about mowing the grass down in his area and turning that into silage, but we both agree we're going to focus on getting our fields prepped, and if we have time, we'll do that next month. It's not a priority. But this mowing here, we are going to do in a cinematic. I probably did show a cinematic with the Krone when we got it, but we're going to see another one because it's been so long, I can't remember. It's certainly been quite a while. So you can sit back and, as Farmer Mike would say, enjoy the ride. Well, there we go. That job is done. Hope you enjoyed that cinematic. I had earlier mowed the little grass field, the long, narrow one by the farm there, across the road from the farm. And so we have two fields that need to be baled up and wrapped for silage. And so Sarah and Rebecca actually are going to get on that. And so I'm just down here. I was going to get this tractor all ready to go for Rebecca, but that'll be, I think, the last job we'll get done here on the day. Of course, other than Jim, Harold, and Bill will continue to work till the evening, I'm sure. But we are not going to get to see that because we are out of time here for this episode. But what I think I'm going to do, something I haven't done in a long time here on this map, is I think we will just finish up the day. We'll move into next month, and I'll bring you back in, and we'll carry on with the fall work before we jump to spring. So we'll do 2 fall episodes here. So I think that is what we shall do. So hopefully you'll join me for that. But like I said, for this one, we got to wrap things up. So if you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that old notification bell. But for this episode here on Monteith, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.